Red Lanterns number 15, written by Peter Milligan, art by Miguel Sepulveda. This is the continuation of Rise of the Third Army. And last issue, there were like 8 different plots, but the main one was Atrocitus went back to his homeworld and thought that it was all being attacked by the Manhunters all over again. So this issue picks up with hand of a Red Lantern, the ring still attached to it, trying to make its way back to its homeworld, and Zilius Zox and Scalix show up, and they're like, poor little thing didn't have enough energy to make it back home. Well, hopefully Atrocitus can find some way to power up our battery a bit more. And we see Atrocitus back on his homeworld of Ryu, watching everyone he loves die again, and he's just like, nope, not doing this. And he grabs one of the Manhunters and like throws it down to the ground, and sees that it is all just an illusion, despite the fact that he literally opens up this book by saying this is no hallucination. So I'm a little confused on that, but regardless, he is like, okay, I get what's going on, and he reaches down into the ground and pulls out this creature, which apparently is some sort of space predator that like forces hallucinations. And he's like, well, this thing is not guilty of anything except for being a dick. That's going to have to do. So he cuts open it and uses blood magic in order to reveal the entirety of the army of the Manhunters, which I guess were magically hidden by Atrocitus way back. So they're all just there, and Atrocitus is so pissed off, he starts beating them up and tearing off their heads and whatnot. And he's like, okay, got that out of my system. Now I need to bring you all back into working order because the Guardians have made yet another stupid-ass army of unthinking, unfeeling things. So I need you guys to save us. Then we cut to the Earth plot, where Rancor and Bleez have made their way to Earth in order to have Rancor kill the guy who killed his grandfather. But first he really wants to talk to his brother, so he goes to his brother's house, sees that his bro's become a drunken slob. He busts it and he's like, brother, I know this has been hard on us, but you need to, listen to me. Granddad wouldn't have wanted your life to end up like this. And he starts freaking out because this giant red monster looking thing just busted into his house. And he's like, Ray, it's me, it's your brother. Come on, listen to me. And he's like, oh, geez, what happened to you? You look like a nightmare. And trust me, I know a lot about nightmares. And he's like, yeah, sorry. It's just the way I am now. I literally do not have a choice in this matter. And Ray's like, what do you want? Get away from me. And he's like, you remember what he did to grandfather, what he did to me. And it causes him to get so emotional, he makes a construct that terrifies the living crap out of his brother. And Bleez is like, all right, well, that was impressive, I guess. But, I mean, are you good? Can we move on now? And he's just like, I'm filled with rage at the one who killed my grandfather. Every part of me craves to punish him. And Bleez is like, all right, this was literally pointless. Let's just go do the thing then. So we go back to Atrocitus, and he's like, all right, you all are still technically in sleep mode. I just need to use my Red Lantern energy to power y'all up. Fortunately, I don't have a lot of that right now, so I'm going to use my own blood to power up the magic of the ring, and then it'll charge you all up. So he does that, and he's like, haha, now I control you all. You all are mine. And then we go on the side plot of Dexstar. And if you remember Dexstar, he heard that Rancor was going to Earth. He got really pissed off because he remembered Midnighter punched him in the face during a Stormwatch issue, I think. And he's like, I'm going to go get revenge on him. So he goes to some completely different sector where there is a space cop who's just arresting a whole bunch of horrible space criminals. But the space cop has an outfit with a spike on its chin. So it reminds Dexstar of Midnighter, and he attacks him. And that's it. That's the plot. I genuinely don't know what further we're going in with that. Anyway, back down on Earth, we see a police officer's giving some sort of protective custody to Baxter, the guy who killed the grandfather. And Rancor shows up, grabs Baxter, and be like, you killed my grandfather, now prepare to die. And as he looks over at the police officer nearby, he sees that half of the police officer's face is like burned off. And it turns out that this is the guy that when Rancor first transformed into a Red Lantern and couldn't control his powers, he accidentally sprayed his like napalm onto this cop and burned half his face off. And Rancor's like, I'm sure you must want vengeance against me. And the cop's like, yeah, I did for a really long time, but hey, I got over it. And the skin grafts are kind of taken, don't you think? So then we see Bleeze comes down, grabs Baxter by the head, and just be like, all right, do it. Go ahead, get your vengeance, because I'm sure you haven't learned any morals about how vengeance is wrong in the interstitial period between when you landed to now. Am I right? So that leaves off on a cliffhanger. We see Zilius and Skalix arriving back on the Red Lantern planet, and they're talking to Ratchet, who's apparently the guardian of the battery. And they're like, hey, Ratchet, why is our blood stuff not making the battery stronger? And Ratchet's like, I have a theory that the whole planet has a rage anemia. That's my working thing right now. And we see down beneath the surface of the planet the 4 inversions that Atrocitus used to be all buddy-buddy with are still down there. And she'd be like, God, that guy's an idiot. He doesn't even know about us, the inversions, making him all weak. Ha! We'll get our arc soon enough. So then we go, last page, over to Atrocitus, and he's like, hey, Manhunters, your whole thing is no man escapes the Manhunters? That's your old thing. But now I am your master, and I need you to listen to me. And then they all fire up their shots and blast Atrocitus, seemingly into a million itty-bitty atomic pieces. So, apparently they don't listen that well. I liked it. I think it was a solid, like, every one of the pieces worked, save for the Dexstar plot. As much as I enjoy Dexstar as a character, who wouldn't love an angry little space kitty, it just felt so weirdly misplaced here. Like, Dexstar was going to Earth to get revenge on Midnighter, but then he didn't go to Earth, and he didn't attack Midnighter. It was just a different place and a different guy who vaguely looked the same. It was a little bit weird for me. It didn't seem like it really flowed, but we just had to get a little cutaway of what's Dexstar up to now. He's in space jail. So overall, though, I'm going to give this one I'll give it a 7. I think it was a decently well-built issue. The Atrocitus stuff, it felt like last issue ended on an unnecessary cliffhanger, considering how fast he fixed it. And I'm getting the vibe that it's going to be the same way here again, where it looks like he's been killed, but like in 3 panels, it's going to be the Manhunters just sent their things to stun instead. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. So maybe cut back on the cliffhangers, but overall, decent issue.